Today, we're going to speak about another anime that will transform your entire perception of night and how lovely it truly is, followed by the dawn revealing a whole new world that you would never know if you didn't fall asleep. The anime we are going to be discussing is The Call of the Night. Warning, this video might contain spoilers to episodes 1 through 2 for the anime. You have been warned. It begins with a gorgeous sight in which all the lights in the city and all the stars shine so brightly that you will think you are in another world. Then, a mysterious figure on top of a building looks down at the city with their coat on, and with the wind blowing through the coat, it shows a woman who suddenly jumps off the building. And why she jumps off? Well, she's just crazy. However, the animation quickly switches to houses and alleyways at night, demonstrating how tranquil and relaxing it is at that time, even giving us an overview of the city's lights. The anime introduces us to a guy named Yomori-ku, who sneaks out of his parents' apartment because he has problems going to sleep at night. When Yomori-ku got outside, he took a deep breath and let it out, because it was his first time sneaking out of his apartment without anyone knowing where he was. He felt free and could do whatever he wanted. But soon after he had his fun, he went to the park and began having flashbacks and doubts in his head because of an incident that happened at school, when a girl asked him out and he politely declined her offer soon. After other classmates heard about it, they confronted Yomori-ku, asking why he turned down the girl, and told him that he was terrible for making her cry. But he didn't want a relationship and didn't know what was the point of having one. With everything that was happening, he chooses to continue his quest into the night and refrain from worrying about it. Yomori-ku starts walking around looking up information about alcohol when all of a sudden a vending machine appears selling alcohol, and Yomori-ku is tempted to buy one can, but all of a sudden a stranger appears. The same stranger that was on top of the building looking at this city above. It was the woman who jumped off the building, and surprisingly, she's still alive. And her name was Nanakusa Nazuna. Yomori becomes scared and begins to walk away, apologizing to her that he didn't realize he was purchasing alcohol. But Nanakusa doesn't care if he was or wasn't. She grabs his hands and tells him not to worry and asks him a question. "Are you having trouble falling asleep?" Yomori replies saying, "Yes, I am." She begins by stating that she can assist Yomori. She explains why he can't sleep at night. She tells him that he was not content with what he accomplished in life. She goes on to suggest that maybe he didn't achieve anything, and that's why he can't go to sleep at night, because he hasn't achieved what he wants in life. After explaining this to him, she takes Yomori to her apartment for some reason. Yomori begins to worry when he arrives at the apartment, thinking something's about to go wrong. Anyways, she begins taking her coat off and tells Yomori to get in the bed. But Yomori asks her what she plans to do with him. She begins by telling him she is not like that in any shape or form. Yomori continues to relax, but remains careful. Laying down on the bed, he begins to pretend to sleep for the girl to see what she does. Nanakusa begins to whisper to Yomori to see if he is still awake, unaware that he is acting. She begins to smile, opening her mouth and taking a bite of Yomori's neck. Now we know she is a vampire, and that explains why she didn't die from falling off a building. Anyways, we continue with her saying Yomori's blood tastes wonderful. Yomori stands up and asks why he is bleeding. Nanakusa was startled because she thought he was sleeping. She begins to lie, saying there was a mosquito on his neck, but Yomori did not believe her one bit. With no more excuses to give, she tells him she's a vampire. He begins to freak out, thinking he'll become a vampire, but she explains that he can't. Yomori inquires as to how come if a vampire bites you, you become one of them. She begins by explaining to him that biting him is similar to devouring food, but then tells him that becoming a vampire is a distinct possibility. To become a vampire, you must fall in love with the person who bites you. After that, they started walking around the streets talking about love, and Nanakusa becomes irritated and urges him to stop worrying about it and just enjoy life. But Yomori surprises her by revealing he wants to become a vampire, which she was shocked to hear. She proceeds to explain the prerequisites for him to become a vampire again, but he is unconcerned. She then says, "All right, but don't complain to her if anything goes wrong in his life." Ku sleeps away for the night. He meets with Nazuna, who reminds him that drinking blood isn't just for vampires to eat. In some circumstances, it may also be utilized for copulation. When Ku says copulating, she feels embarrassed. Ku assures Nazuna that he hasn't forgotten why he came. He wants to be a vampire, but in order to do so, he must fall in love with her, which humiliates Nazuna. Before he told her he wanted to be a vampire, Ku had a request. All Nazuna wanted was to taste his blood again. Ku is fine with that and exposes his neck, but Nazuna is mortified and brands him a pervert for doing so. She wants to take his blood, but it is not the right time. Ku goes out for another night, but he can't find Nazuna no matter where he looks. He decides to go back to his hometown and look around again. He also discovers that even if she takes his blood, he would not convert into a vampire right away. Therefore, he does not need to see her every night. Then, Nazuna enters and greets him, which irritates Ku because he has been looking for her. Nazuna explains that she has been going around taking people's blood. Ku is intrigued by him, but Nazuna explains that different people's blood tastes like different cuisines. Ku brings the copulating part, and Nazuna being concerned, she admits that since this is part of the feeding process, she is doing it with random people. Ku doesn't want them to look for each other every night. Instead, he wants them to share contact information. He requests her phone number, but Nazuna informs him that she doesn't have a cell phone. After a brief moment of thought, she recalls something, and they proceed to her house, where she discovers a cellular phone. She brought it because she thought she would need it, but she doesn't want to carry it about because it is so huge and heavy. They soon built smaller ones, but she couldn't stand it any longer. Nazuna soon becomes exhausted and lies down on her futon, inviting Ku to join her. Ku refuses, saying that since he won't be turning into a vampire, she may go suck someone else's blood instead. While they are still lying there, Nazuna worries if she can suck his blood. Nazuna reveals that she had been looking for him earlier, and that it was unusual to come across someone with such delectable blood. Nazuna then gleefully sucks his blood, as Ku then exposes his neck. On a different night, Ku is still unable to locate Nazuna. Ku is still irritated by how long it takes for her to find him, even when she eventually does. He confesses that he gave her a transceiver for her watch. Nazuna is thrilled and thinks they can play with them because she finds it to be really cool. Ku says that it's about connecting, but Nazuna still questions whether they can play with them. Ku recollects that he once purchased transceivers to play with and informs her that she is welcome to use it if she so desires. Nazuna is taken aback because that calls for friends, but Ku claims he has his own ways. When he was 9 years old, he bought 2 transceivers. After some consideration, he decided to hide one in a difficult-to-find location and make contact with the person who finds it. He never got a call, and when he looked, he noticed that the other one was gone, so it must have been located. But for some reason, he also made the decision to put his transceiver away instead of dialing it. When Ku discloses that he is wearing his old kid transceiver, Nazuna finds the narrative to be both sad and humorous. This makes her laugh even harder. They should perform a test play when Ku gives her a transceiver, and Nazuna nods in agreement before leaving. When Ku remembers that the transceiver's range is 150 meters, he eventually decides to call Nazuna. He understands she is within range as she responds. She presents herself as though there was an adversary up ahead that she should kill, but Ku advises her to wait. He is pleased that he brought the transceivers, and it seems as though they have only recently begun dating, which Nazuna finds awkward. The two then spend more time together before Nazuna leads them to Ku's school's roof. She explains to Ku that the night alters perceptions, making the school appear less problematic. Ku nods in agreement as she bites his neck and draws blood. Nazuna found it slightly obscene and pleasant to sip his blood at school. Ku recollects that while she enjoys making dirty jokes, she feels awkward discussing love and affection. Ku assumes she has never been intimate with a human because she also doesn't want to have children. She feels quite embarrassed and requests that he use San when Ku asks if he can call her Nazuna-chan. Ku believes they ought to make friends first, before anything else. Ku is on his way home when he stops to check at his old transceiver. He wonders what happened to the other one, and if anyone still has it. Then, Ku is surprised by the transceiver's ring. Behind Ku, a girl wearing the other transceiver approaches and addresses him by name while inquiring as to what he is doing. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, see you next time.